guys, so today I'm going to make a book review slash book comparison about 3 books that I read in the past couple days. Those 3 books are Legend by Marie Lu, The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and Delirium by Lauren Oliver. And the reason I'm putting all these 3 lovely books together in one video is because there are 3 dystopian books and I read them within 2 days of each other. So I really just want to sort of compare them and what I thought about the world and the characters in this sort of genre that's very, very similar. It was really interesting to get to read 3 books that are all dystopian and all different stories in a very short amount of time, because I really got to compare and see what I liked about some worlds and writing styles and the way they did it and what things I didn't. So I'm going to start with Delirium, which is the one that I liked the least. And this is actually the one that I read the first, and I really liked it when I read it, but then I read the next 2, and I decided that Delirium was the one that I liked the least out of the 3 that I just read. So Delirium is about this girl who lives in a world where love is considered a disease, and when you're 18 you go through this procedure thing, and it gets rid of love, and then you are cured, and you get matched up with someone to marry, and you don't love him, but it's the most compatible. Our main character, Lena, is about to be 18, and she's about to go through her procedure, and then she falls in love. And this was a very cliche thing to happen. It was very predictable. I thought it was going to happen, and it's very confusing for her because she's always thought that love was evil and a disease, but now she likes this guy. I liked the story, I liked the premise, sort of, that love was nice, it was fine, whatever, but I don't feel like I know a lot about the world, or how it basically came to be this way, or what about the rest of the world. You really only hear about this one little place. I think it's Portland or something like that, I'm not even sure. The book was very predictable for me. A lot of the things that happened I wasn't surprised about. The character sort of seemed also seemed very predictable, very cliche. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't like them so much. I didn't like Lena so much. I didn't like Alex very much. And yeah. So that was that, and not so much happened in the book. It wasn't very action-packed. It was more based on love, which is fine. It's gonna be dystopian. I want to see some blood and gore, which they had. They had some bad things happening. I liked the book. It was enjoyable for me to read. I didn't get stuck. I went through it really quickly, and I'm looking forward to reading the next 2 books, Pandemonium and Requiem. I think that's the order that they come in. I might be backwards. Hopefully I'll get them soon. I'm not so crazy about the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger isn't so bad for me. I don't really have a urgent need to go buy the next book. That is Delirium by Lauren Oliver. The next book that I read was The Maze Runner by James Dashner. And this book was really interesting for me to read. And I've heard a lot of mixed things about this, and I sort of understand why I got so many mixed reviews. Because this is a book about a boy named Thomas who wakes up without his memory. The only thing he knows is his name, and he wakes up in a maze with a lot of other boys who also woke up in this maze, and they don't have their memory. And this book is about them trying to get out of the maze and break the maze and figure out how to get out, because they have no idea why they're there, who put them there, what they're supposed to do, what's happening in the rest of the world. They don't remember anything, and they sort of know they don't remember anything. It definitely kept me interested, but I didn't like the characters so much. I mean, they were all guys, which was interesting. I could very much tell that this book was written by a man, and it was about boys. There wasn't a lot of girls. There was a girl, but whatever. It was mostly all guys, lots of guys. And I didn't feel like a whole lot happened in the book, though. I feel it sort of set up. It was sort of setting up for the next book, or setting up to know what happens in the world. You know nothing about the world till the very, very last chapter of the book, and even then, you sort of know about the world, but you don't really. And it's sort of like a setup. It's the whole maze was just you still don't really know why they were in the maze at the end of the book, unless I missed something. But you sort of do, but not really. And it's very, very confusing. I was very confused by the ending. I didn't like the ending. I feel like it should have either ended the chapter earlier, or there should have been another chapter or another thing happening, because I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of the Hunger Games, with the whole kids trapped in a thing and trying to get out, or in Hunger Games win. characters were a bit one-sided. I mean, I didn't like them very much. I feel like you didn't get to know them very well, and I understand that might be because of the memory loss and because they don't know who they are, so it's hard for them to have a lot of personality or a lot of, like, interests and things, but it was a bit annoying that I really didn't feel like the characters were very fleshed out. I didn't feel like I knew them at all. I didn't really relate to them. I didn't understand where they were coming from a lot of times. The book is very much like Lord of the Flies also. It's like Lord of the Flies in the future, you know, guys trapped in a place, boys. Young men, boys trapped in a place, and they rule it by themselves, and they have their own way things work, and their own sort of hierarchy of who's in charge and punishments and things. It was interesting. I liked it. I really, really do want to read the next two books, and maybe even the prequel. I'll see how the next two books are. I heard some not great things about some of the sequels, so we'll see. But it definitely had more of a cliffhanger than Delirium, and definitely kept me a little bit more interested in the Delirium, but it was very different. Delirium was sort of very girly, and this is very masculine. Anyway, the last book that I read, which I just finished last night, was Legend by Marie Lu, and I really, really like this book. I hadn't heard as much about Legend as I had about The Maze Runner and Delirium, especially Delirium, and I got this because it sounded interesting, and it really, really was. I liked it. I didn't expect to like it after the first two chapters. I wasn't so sure. I just thought it was going to be, like, mediocre, like, whatever. Like, I thought it was going to be maybe like The Maze Runner or Delirium, sort of in that range. But I really, really liked this book. I liked the characters. I liked the plot. I liked the world. The two characters in this book are a boy named Day, who is, like, a rebel against this, or basically doesn't like the authorities, and this girl named June, who is a prodigy, and she works for the government, or she's actually in college right now. She's 15, and she's, like, graduating, like, a long time before her class. Basically, it's told from two different perspectives, of Day and of June. I really liked the characters. I especially really liked June. I don't know why. She was just so, I liked her. And what was nice about this book is even when love came into the picture, it didn't overpower everything else. A lot of times I feel in books, someone falls in love and is willing to throw everything away from it. It's like in Delirium, like she falls in love and that's it. But here when characters like each other, they don't throw everything away for it. Lots of bad stuff happened. It was really bad things that I normally don't like it when, like, really bad things happen for no reason, but I liked it because the things that happened, the characters are going to have to live with in the next book, and I'm really excited to see how that happens. I liked that they didn't lose themselves for their love. They stayed themselves. They stayed focused on what they were set out to do, and only afterwards, when it was really more thought out and they changed their mind about what they were doing, did they do things for love, but it wasn't even just because of love. I liked June. She was just like a badass character. I really, really liked her. Day was also really good. I didn't like him as much. He was a bit more cliche, the whole we have to do everything for family and stuff. I mean, I liked the plot. It was very, very fast, and I liked the world because it was gritty and dirty and unpolished, like, not in a bad way, but the world building was good, but the actual situation where they live in dystopian Los Angeles, California, and you learn actually more about the world than you do in some of the other ones about, like, the colonies. I think it's called the colonies, and the Republic, maybe. Yeah, the Republic and the colonies. Like, you learn a bit about the world. And basically what happens in this book is that there is this thing called the plague, which infects people, and then they die. They don't get a cure. I mean, some of this book I predicted. I don't know if it's just me who happened to be, like, thinking about it a lot, or if it's very predictable for everyone else. I can guess. I'm really, really good at predicting endings of things and how things are going to happen. One of the major plot twists I predicted, like, I thought, yeah. And it's funny because I think I predicted it because I have had an idea for a story that's been sitting in my brain for a really long time that I haven't put on paper yet, which is very similar to one of the plot twists in this book. So I think that might be why I guessed it. Actually, I guess two things that happen. I guess a lot of the things that happen. Also, it's sort of typical in the way that, like, oh, this person, obviously the good guys are actually the bad guys, and the bad guys are actually the good guys, or according to the world. And it was really good, though, and I liked it. And I really like this book, and this book I really, really want to read the sequel, which is called Prodigy. See, it says here on the back of this book that it is based on a retelling of Les Miserables. Legend is the first in an epic trilogy. I did not get any references to Les Mis. I don't know, like, I saw this on the back before I read the book, and I was like, the entire book I was sort of, like, trying to, like, see similarities between the story, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know if it just really isn't in there so much, or if I just didn't notice it. But apart from that, that aside, I don't care about that. I really like this book. I really want to know what's going to happen in the next one. And I'm normally a person who does not like deaths for nothing. In the Maze Runner, I've had some people die, which was like, what? Why? Especially in the very end, they had someone die, and I didn't exactly agree on that death. But here they kill off a lot of people. They kill off like 3 important people, like important people that are important to the characters. Not so much in the story, but and I liked it, even though I don't normally. It was just a good book, and I wanted to know what other people think about it, to know that if like it's weird that I like it, or if people actually do like it. I don't know. That was my comparison about these 3 books. Like, let's see. I liked the world in this one. I liked sort of the mystery, even though I ended up didn't liking it, but like I didn't really like that you didn't know anything, but at the same time it was still sort of cool that you didn't know anything. I like being kept in the dark. Delirium, the love was nice, and the fact that it was more focused on girls was nice. But overall, Legend was definitely the best. I think I gave already, I don't know, 3 stars to Delirium and 3 stars to The Maze Runner, and I think I'm giving Legend 4 stars because I really, really liked it. And I don't normally give 5 stars to things except for like my favorite books of all time, which even though Legend was really good, it is not my favorite book of all time. Maybe it'll get there if I read Prodigy and I'll see that it was also really, really good. I hope. Well, I'm gonna get the sequels and the however many books are after. I think they're all trilogies, and maybe. I don't know. Yeah, this is a trilogy, but I don't think the 3rd book is out yet. Prodigy's out. I think Prodigy's out. Maybe. Delirium, I know the other 2 books are out, so I'm gonna get them, but maybe not as soon, since I didn't like it as much. And The Maze Runner, I think all the books are out too, and also there's a prequel, so I'll have to see. I think I'm gonna get the 2 sequels first, and then we'll see what happens. I'm sort of curious just to know what happened in the world. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I know it was really long and a bit rambly. I tried to organize my thoughts, but I don't know how well I did. I even had like a whole like list of things on my computer, which is why I kept like looking over there at my computer. But anyway, that was my book review, and I would really recommend all 3 of these books, especially Legend, which I really, really liked. If you like dystopian books about people killing each other and cool things happening and really great characters, read Legend. And the other 2 books are really good as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. My book fell. I have such a tendency to drop things.